Welcome, members of the Lime fam and viewers far and wide. We've got a great and super fun episode of the LimeCast for you today with a performer of ours who's incredibly successful and who is as wonderfully charming as she is talented. Gina May is a singer-pianist who's been delighting guests on Royal Caribbean International ships since 2023, from schooner bar to the dueling piano bars. With classical piano training and a sharp sense of British humor, she brings both skill and charm to every performance. This summer, she's excited to join the unveiling of the new Legend of the Seas, an inaugural performer, which is a huge honor, on the largest ship in the world, promising an unforgettable experience for all aboard. So, let's dig in, shall we? Well, hi, everybody. Hi, Gina.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I am great. I'm super excited to be chatting with you today. And without further ado, let's get started with your background. Kind of like walk us through, from an early age, how you became a performer, a musician, a vocalist, and then how we got to this point where you are now working on ships and gigging on land and quite a successful performer, if that sounds
Oh,
okay.
well, yeah, no, thank you for that hidden compliment. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we're here for it.
Okay, so started very unusually for what I do. What I do mostly is dueling pianos. That's where my heart is, and that's what I love. But I started as a classical piano player when I was like 12 or 13, which was already pretty late in the game. I just really resonated with music, pardon the pun. I just took to the piano so well. I actually originally started as a saxophone player, um, which I don't do much of anymore unless the saxophone comes with me on a ship sometime, I guess.
Apparently,
But
we're leading parallel lives because I started as a trumpet player and now I'm a pianist too. So there must be something in
Yeah, it was
the
very
water.
interesting. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to put it all together to practice it. That was my reasoning for not practicing enough. But the
Horns
piano,
stick
you
up.
can just
Yeah.
sit down and play.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was my
yeah.
reason for that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry
Um,
about intonation, any of that.
no, you just press the note and it comes
Yeah,
out.
it's really wonderful.
So I took to that much quicker. I wanted to be like Lisa Simpson, basically, but apparently on the piano. And I did that. I auditioned for conservatoire, which is a specialist university in the UK for music. You have them in the US as well, like Berkeley and stuff, where you only study your instrument. You don't really study anything else other than your instrument.
Sure.
So I did that. I was successful. I got into the Birmingham Conservatoire. It was a dream come true. I studied under an incredible teacher. And I was so lucky to do that for 4 years, actually. I got my undergrad, and a week before I graduated, well, this is kind of a funny story. I do tell this on stage as well, so this isn't super personal. But my ex-boyfriend cheated on me, and I was like, right, I need a new start. I need something fresh. So I go on Indeed, of all places, to find a dueling pianos gig. I call them up and so excited to have me. And it's this lovely couple who owned a piano bar in the UK in Birmingham. So I went by and I sung a verse and a chorus of The Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga. And they said, stop right there, we'll have you, you're hired. And I'd never sung before in my life. So it was a whole new world. I really wasn't very good at singing.
Wait,
They
so
just
there's
like that I could play
so
the
much
piano.
drama here, right? So like
Yeah,
there's like it's a great story. There's
thank
there's
you.
like infidelity and there's like
Yeah.
a complete pivot and then you're go to this audition and you'd never sung before. You were 20, 21, 22
I
at
was
this point.
22. I just turned
Right. So
22,
you
yeah.
just graduated. You'd never sung before. You sang some Lady Gaga, and they were like, "You're going to be the next Lady Gaga."
Yeah, we'll have you. And it all went from there. They trained me to play, obviously, a different way to play the piano.
Yeah.
Um, you- uh, Working there for sometimes 5 nights a week. you just sing so much, you have to become a better singer. It just happens because of all the singing you're doing. And they were incredible people. I'm so grateful to them. Unfortunately, the bar closed for reasons completely out of their control. And they were super supportive in encouraging me to get on ships. All the people that worked there had done ships. One of my friends had done Royal and had suggested I get in touch with you guys, actually. And we put together a really great show reel. And then my first contract happened. Everything went from there. I was from Schooner Bar to dueling pianos when they opened that position on the new big ships. And it's been amazing. It's been an incredible journey. I'm so grateful for every stage because without each part, I wouldn't have learned something that I use now. So it's been amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to look back and be like, well, without that, I would never have done this. But without that, I mean, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's very serpentine. It's like I don't know even how we got here, but sometimes you can really trace it back, like in a linear way, where it's just like
Yes.
there's no way that I would have been a singer if I didn't take that audition. But I'm curious, just to go back for a second. So
Hmm.
when you were in your teens, right, and you were playing sax or you're playing piano, did you sing like in the shower? Did you sing like to yourself? Were you like,
Oh,
I think I
yeah.
can do this, but like you just never done it professionally? You were like,
Yeah.
how,
Um,
how did like you had just never been in a position where like you needed to sing or wanted to try to make that part of your career?
Well, it's funny because one of the things that helped me progress so quickly is because when I was really young, I used to look up the chords to different songs like "The Edge of Glory" by Lady Gaga, which
Sure.
seems to have
She
like
keeps
resonated in my life. Keeps
right,
coming
coming
around.
back. Yeah.
And it made me really proficient at reading chord sheets as well as reading sheet music. So that was also a great skill that I learned from just doing that. And so yeah, I'd sing songs in my room, but there was never any formal training or anything professional. You know, I sung here and there around before, but I never imagined that I would be doing a career that was 50% singing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, singing is. It's kind. I mean, of course, like as a piano bar entertainer, as a schooner bar entertainer, as a dueling piano entertainer, all of those things. Like piano is really important, but at the end of the day, people want to hear how you sound when you open your mouth,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Especially as a woman, people want a pretty voice.
sure.
So thank God I improved.
Yeah, and
It
so
was really good.
it makes sense. And like you said, uh, having the opportunity to perform every day or to perform 4 or 5, 6 days a week for hours at a time is just so incredible for your rep. I mean, some people aren't quite so lucky to kind of to get the gig that allows them to do that in the first place, but so great and that and I'm sure that this couple saw something special in you and they were like, let's make this happen. Have you taken vocal lessons since? Or are you still like not a single lesson, just like hours and hours and hours of practice?
Well, I've had some like a few informal sessions, basically with this lovely couple. Their names are Shannon and Sam.
Good
Sam was
name.
really like, yeah, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Sam was
Always
really more
trust Sam.
based in his piano studies. I mean, an incredible vocalist, but
Yeah.
Shannon was really a vocalist to begin with, and then took to the piano. Um, so she has probably one of the best voices of any dueling piano player I've ever met. So what better person to learn from?
Yeah.
So she honestly, the biggest thing that she helped me with is my confidence because I always thought, oh, I can't sing that. You know, like there's other girls at the bar that can sing that. I can play. They'll just sing. She was like, no, you have that potential. You just don't believe in yourself enough. And I remember one time she was helping me sing Thunderstruck by AC/DC,
Sure.
and it's still a song that really don't like to seriously sing, but it's it was incredible like how she just like unlocked something by just making me feel a bit more confident. So not like loads of formal lessons, but you know, I've like watched like TikToks and YouTube videos when they pop up and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And
Yeah.
I've been to a few things and learned things on the way and learned how my own voice works from myself, but really like not a sit down lesson where I'm like with someone and they're teaching me better
Yeah.
technique.
It's really lucky that some people
I
just
know.
have, it's just like almost bad for everybody else because it's like, what, this is not really how it generally works. Like most people need to focus their energies and on different things and take lessons and study with folks. But occasionally you can make it work even if you're the one who's kind of guiding that ship
Yeah,
yourself.
100%. I mean, you say that if you did listen to me sing when I first started at that bar, you would think, "Oh yeah, it was good that she practiced a little bit in the in between."
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
worth it.
I know. I mean, clearly was. And so here we are now, and you are
Yes.
one of Royal Caribbean's uh, favorite. I think that's
Oh,
okay to say because they say it all the time, and so we're all there. You're one of their beloved piano bar, schooner bar,
that's so
dueling piano
nice.
entertainers. I mean, with good reason. Everyone has their head on straight here, and so can you walk us through what that first contract was like with
Oh
Royal?
yeah.
Like uh, things that you were surprised by, like what was most exciting,
Yeah.
most rewarding on board, most challenging on board. Those are a lot of questions, so we can go through them
No,
one by
of
one.
course. Yeah, I mean, it was my first contract was 7 weeks. I was super lucky to be able to have, like a mid-length contract where I could really get stuck in, but I didn't feel like I was going to be there for, 4 or 5 months.
Sure.
I was so lucky. It was a wonderful ship. I was on the Anthem of the Seas. I had an incredible MD. He was very, very supportive, very happy to see me, very happy to have a lady in the schooner bar. There's so few of us, and it's so nice that he was so supportive of me for that. Um, Unexpected difficulties. I mean, you're singing so much. Talking about singing,
Right.
and I knew this. I was prepared by the people that I worked with before. They prepared me, and they said, "You are going to need to be able to strategize how you use your voice. Women's voices are they're not as strong as male voices. Male voices can sing for a bit longer and won't falter. And I really wanted to do it right. I wanted to be able to give it my all, but at the same time have this balance. So it was all about finding those songs and finding ways of singing the songs that made it easier on my voice. I mean, even now my voice is tired. Like you go through it every day is like having to test your instrument on where it's going to be. That was an unexpected difficult. Well, it was kind of expected, but it was still very difficult. But it was always rewarded by I think the first time I really packed out the schooner bar, it was later on the first, maybe or second cruise, and the room was just entirely full, and we were singing I Love You, Baby, the
Yeah,
Frankie
yeah,
Valli
yeah.
song. The
I can't
Brit,
take my eyes off you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one. How do
yeah.
I not even know the name?
Just, all that matters is when people shout out things and then you
Yeah,
just know
right?
where where they are and underneath your fingers. I find that sometimes like all you need. I don't know if I imagine you have this too, where you know all the lyrics, but then you're like, what's the first one? And then as soon as someone is like, yeah, that's the first line, then you're like, oh, I actually have the rest of the song memorized, all the chords,
Yeah.
and it's just like, but help me out for a second.
Yes, just
Which
that one really important bit of it. Yeah,
yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually
yeah.
so funny you say that. Sometimes when I was just trying to think of the song, then I'm playing it in my head because I can think of the piano part, but I can't think of the name of the song because
Right,
you don't say the name of the song, you say every other part.
right, of
But
course.
anyway, it was a cruise around Europe. It was a more British crowd, and it was a crowd I knew very well, so it was great for me. It was well suited towards me. Um, and I just remember it was such a great feeling. I remember someone filmed it and I sent it to the people that trained me, and they were like, "We're so proud of you." And being able to do that and being able to play the music the way I loved it, it was really hard. It was a really tough 7 weeks. There were times when I was pretty lonely because I would be being careful of my voice during the days. But there were times when I was just like, wow, this is me. This is my bars, my space. I've never had my own bar where I choose what happens, and that feeling is so amazing. To be 23, I was 23 and just rocking a room of 50, 60 people who all are appreciating what you're doing. It's just like a feeling like no other. So it was all worth it for like those moments.
Totally. I mean, I can totally relate, and I think it's something that is like a worthy study for any performer is like really understanding your voice and what it's capable of, and but what you're capable of on your instrument too. It's just that vocals are so specific, and like you
Yeah.
were saying, there's good days and there's bad days, and you really learn what your voice is like, and I think anybody who is doing a vocal gig on board a ship is in for like a kind of a real like strategy session or many in terms of how to how to conserve your voice, like how to pick songs that ideally you're picking those yourself, because like some people work like with bands and then it's not just your
Yes.
decision, but but understanding like when to like really go for it, when to hold back the kinds of songs that you're going to sing at the beginning of the night versus the end of the night, what songs you might want to go for at the end of the night, but you're like, I know that the next day I'm going to be rough if I push this. And so yeah, it's I think working on ships you end up singing as a performer more than almost anywhere else, and so
Yes.
learning how to conserve and really take care of your voice, like can't stress it enough. I think it's like, and
Yeah.
you really don't even like, you don't know what it's like until you get out there and then you experience it for yourself. Like you can do the prep, but it's kind of like do the prep for sure and then
Yeah.
also figure it out when you're on board.
Yeah. You just got to kind of learn on the go, but you figure it out,
You,
hopefully.
yeah, no, you figure it out. And again, something else that you were talking about, just the autonomy of running
Mm.
a piano bar or being a soloist. I think it's very specific to those soloist positions where
Yeah.
it's all you, and like the strategy of what songs you sing and how you deal with the crowd and how you structure the night. Like I think it is both a blessing and maybe not a curse, but there's real challenges that come along with you being the only person there. You can't rely on
Yeah.
anybody else,
Cool.
but you also don't have to disagree with anybody else about what songs they want to play or how they want to talk to the
Yeah.
crowd. It is just you. And so
Yes.
I think that's what makes great piano bar entertainers, for example, stand out so much, because it's a hard gig all in all to kind of to put that all
Hmm.
together. I mean, I think someone like yourself kind of makes it look easy, but it's so much practice, and yeah, every part of it. Like I'm curious about like the crowd interaction and banter for you,
Mm.
because every piano bar entertainer, every soloist deals with that a little bit differently, and
Yeah.
whether they, I mean, most people encourage it to an extent, but how much of your show, like between each song, are you asking folks what they want to hear? Are you talking with them? Are you telling jokes? Are you telling stories? Like how do you decide like how much or how little of that to put into your shows?
So, are you talking dueling pianos or piano bar entertainer? Because technically, I would say they require something different. I kind of
Yeah.
run them the same way, but
Let's talk about both. Let's talk about
yeah,
like
okay.
like classic schooner bar, piano bar
Schooner bar,
first,
yeah.
and then let's talk about dueling pianos.
Yeah, and I should say now, like, I love Schooner Bar. I will go back and do Schooner Bar again. You know, it's a roast, but it's a real great challenge.
Sure.
And I'm not giving up on that just because I do dueling now. It's still a really good thing for me to do because you have no one else to rely on. It's entirely you, which has
Yeah.
so many amazing pros and so many difficult cons.
Yeah.
Um, I now, when I've done my most recent contract of Schooner Bar, which was on Wonder of the Seas, I used Royal's request slips that they use because I like to do a request show. I typically ask for requests from the audience. I go around before I start my show. I say hi to everyone in the room. I say, my name's Gina. I'm here to take requests. Don't just request piano songs. You know, we do a bit of everything here. If you request something and I don't know it, I'll go learn it. Like that's my deal. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you some stories of people who have said, "Oh, you're too young to know this song," and it's like, "Sweet Home Alabama." Request a song. Just give me a chance, all right? I promise you.
Yeah.
I know my stuff, and if I don't, I'll learn it. Right? I'm very honest about that. Anyway, and when I'm doing it solo, I typically do a lot more talking.
Yeah.
If there's a song that has a nice story that goes beside it, I had an instance when it was my first contract. A man sat in the front row. He's the only person in the audience not clapping for anything. I couldn't please this man, and it was very upsetting for me. And I said, give me a request. What do you want to hear? Like, I played Piano Man, I played Elton John, I tried to give him everything. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have it. He said, "You're not going to know my request. You won't know it." And I was like, "No, try me." He was like, "No, you're too young." I said, "No, give me a go." And he asked "The Son of a Preacher Man" by Dusty Springfield, which is one of
Sure.
my favorite
Like
songs,
it's
and was
yeah.
my like, come
Pick
on, it
something
was one of the
harder,
first songs
buddy.
I learned.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
got on the piano and I played it straight away, and then
Right.
he clapped and he walked away, and I never saw him again. Kind of felt
Well,
bad.
yeah, and you ended that relationship on a high, I would say. Like
Right?
you
Yeah.
gave him what he wanted, sent him back. As the best piano bar entertainers will do.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm very happy to do that. Well, so that's probably a con of doing it by yourself. You have to deal sometimes with guests who maybe don't like what you're doing and don't want what you have to give them and maybe are used to someone else. Maybe they've had someone, they've had like an older guy they haven't who just plays the songs and you could talk in the background, and that's not how I like to run my schooner bar.
right,
It's everyone else's show. I want everyone to sit around like we're all in your living room and we're all just singing along to our favorite songs and being really silly, having a
yeah,
bit of fun and letting go. And life and the world is so stressful, and to give people a break where they can just sing some silly songs and enjoy themselves and let loose is such an amazing role to play
such a
on someone's
privilege, right?
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah,
And people come up to you and they say, "Well, you've made our vacation." I think you make my job fun. We're both giving something to each other.
absolutely, and it's something so special about that show being live too, especially as you make it interactive, where that's what makes it so unusual. Like it's never going to be those people and those songs and you again. It
Ever,
feels,
yeah.
I think, very 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 precious in that way. I also I really relate to, and you and I we're not the same age. I'm a little bit older, or a good deal older, depending on like how you count your years. But I still like, because when I'm performing for folks who are 40, 50, 60, 70, I do a lot of riverboat cruising and performing myself, and so the demographic is really old, and there's so many folks who are still, to me, like, you would never know that, like that's too old for you, or how do you know that music? That's not your music. And I think to be able to, first of all, oldies are where it's at. I mean, like, that's why those songs are still a classic. I mean, the songs that will stand the test of time are the ones from the 50s and 60s and
Yeah.
70s that everybody still loves. And so I think it's a wonderful little perk to take somebody who maybe doesn't think, and especially for you, as young as you are, to say, like, well, you don't know this, and you're like, sometimes I probably don't let on that it's like, I mean, sometimes it's fun to play along and be like, ooh, I'm not sure, do I know that? But to have that repertoire and to know those songs and then be able to whip out, whether it's like old school, like jazz or Broadway or Elvis, or anything from
Yeah.
Everly Brothers, like from a long, long time ago, that will impress or at least satisfy the audience that maybe is skeptical of you, or like
Yeah.
is waiting for you to play that song that you haven't, in order to kind of get them along for the ride like everybody else.
Yeah, that's one of the harder things about schooner bar that I don't get as much in dueling pianos, is that you kind of have to convince people of you,
Hmm.
which day one and two of the cruise is really, really tough work. By day three, they're coming back because they want you. They want you as a person. They know what you have to offer.
Yeah.
And I play different songs every night. I do not play from a set list. I do not. If I play a song twice in a cruise, it's got to be different the second time, especially if it's at a similar time, there are similar people.
Yeah.
It's so amazing when people come back and you can repeat these jokes because people know them now, and you make new jokes with these new people
Yeah.
and stories, and maybe something's happened on the ship and you could talk about it. But day one and two is very hard for that reason. Skeptical is the right word. And that's fair enough. Like, I'm a
Totally.
young girl at the piano. Sure, you maybe think I can just play Adele and Alicia Keys, but like, please guys, we can have some fun. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as challenging it is as it is to get everybody on your side, all the more rewarding when you can kind of turn them one by one or play a
Yeah.
song or two, and then they're like, oh, we're really all in this together. Everybody's
Yes.
having yeah, a great time. How do you deal with requests that that come up so often, right? So piano bar, like classic repertoire, like people want their piano mans, they want
Yes.
Sweet Caroline, they want, I don't know, Don't Stop Believing, they want a ton of Elton John. So
Yeah.
these songs that keep coming up probably multiple times in a night, like someone comes in and they don't know that you played it 3 songs ago, and I feel like at that point you can be like, well, you just missed it, but what else is like that, and play that. But in general,
Yeah.
how do you deal with songs that get requested all the time as someone who, and I can relate to this as well, don't want to play the same songs, like don't want to get sick of the same repertoire, don't want to give the guests the same repertoire.
Yes. It's very hard, and I don't think I have yet mastered it. So I'll just speak to my own experience now.
Yeah,
It's a very, very hard balance
yeah,
between being very earnest and genuine and being like, hey guys, if I play you Piano Man now, you're going to request it another 5 times. I don't want to do that. Can
right,
you please wait? Can you wait? Are you happy to wait around until maybe 30, 40 minutes time? Go grab another drink or come back in a half hour and I'll play that for you. But if I play it now, someone else is going to ask for it and I'm going to have to play it again. And that's really hard because guests are like, oh, I want this now, especially when you're bringing tips into the situation, it becomes
yep,
very difficult
yep,
because you don't want people to think that you're just like taking their money because that's never the case.
right.
I do a lot of jokes about Sweet Caroline, because my God, me and that song, we it's a love-hate relationship. I
Tell me
hate
about
it,
it.
and yeah, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the relationship. But the people love it, and that's my job. There's things everyone does in their job that they don't like doing, and I tell you what, I love when people sing along to it. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, yeah,
It's just one song that comes up every single night, and finding ways to not go insane doing the same thing over and over. Um, it can be quite hard.
yeah,
So I tend to just judge it by the room. And hey, there are times when I play Sweet Caroline when it's not even been requested because I know it's the right song for the room.
right,
People are being really rowdy, and that's another hard thing about Schooner Bar when you're all by yourself. I'm thinking about my next song when I start my song I'm currently doing. I'm like, okay, what has to follow this? What have I got here? What do the people want? And to be honest with you, I think that's one of the my greatest strengths is that we can judge the show like a roller coaster. You have the ups and the downs and the peaks and the
right.
valleys.
Yeah,
You can play your Elvis Presley, your like really upbeat things, like Great Balls of Fire, get everyone up and dancing. But
of
you can
course.
also like slow things down and sing and do like the Alicia Keys and have your moment to be a vocalist as well as everything else.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough.
It's
It's
hard.
tough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, no better way to figure it out than, I mean, you just gotta do it, and the more you do it, the more you kind of hone that part of your craft. And then
Yeah.
to go back to dueling piano bar in terms
Hmm.
of how you handle like the banter and like the rapport, like with a duo partner, like how
Yeah.
is that different from the strictly schooner bar piano bar experience?
Well, it's typically a lot easier because people know that dueling pianos generally is a lot more of a high energy, involved concept. It's almost always engaging and interactive.
Yeah,
Whereas Schooner Bar, you can sometimes people just want a lounge piano player, which is also great. Um, with dueling pianos, it can be so amazing when you just find a partner that you can just riff off each other. Um, Talking about age, I almost always am working with someone, an older guy, because it's usually guy girl. And I'm always like trying, I always ask obviously beforehand, and I'm like, we should, find some things to make jokes about. And age is always the easiest one because no one's really offended because he makes fun of my age and I make fun of his. And everyone laughs. It's a very funny thing. And, it's so like baseline humor. Um, but it can be hard like when you don't know who you're going to be working with the first maybe couple shows, you're finding out each other's stride, each other's strengths.
yeah,
But the banter is so much easier, and especially like more recently, I've been really coming at this gig with a real comedy aspect. The comedy is really one of the things that I love doing the most. And if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I'm mostly just posting me making stupid jokes at the moment.
Which
Um,
people, I mean, people love that, and that like
yeah,
they can listen to a lot of people sing "Sweet Caroline" or "Don't Stop Believing,"
yeah.
but the jokes is that's truly what makes your show unique, and like combining the two is really like the magic
Yeah,
secret
100%.
sauce.
Here's a real like hidden secret from me and what I think makes the show special. Um, Typically dueling piano shows, it's on Royal it's more individual sets, but typically it's like a 3 hour show where you just keep playing.
Right,
People aren't going to sit still for 3 hours just to hear the songs.
right,
They actually want to get to know you and they want to feel like you're their friend and they want to feel involved. And having that relationship with individuals and a crowd, that's what makes it special. And that's what I think the comedy does. It involves your personality. People can just listen to any old song. What makes it exciting is they get to know you, and then that's why they come back the next. Oh, we should go and see, Gina and that guy. They did this and they made us laugh and they did that. They're not going to come back and be like, oh, I really love that Sweet Caroline song. Come on,
yeah, yeah. No, I think it's some of the best advice for anybody who's looking to do what you're doing. It's a different story entirely to execute that, and easier said than done. But I think it is really, really wonderful advice, and it's what we tell any kind of featured act. Like they need to fall in love with you, like the
Yeah,
songs, your piano playing, your vocals. They all need to be good enough, and
sure.
ideally they're great. But it really is like make them fall in love with you, like make them feel like they know you. I mean, which sometimes means them getting to know you, like
Yeah,
quite literally. But the more that you can do that with them and make them feel like they're in on the joke, that they're part of a special experience where like everybody knows everybody and
yeah.
they're connected to you, then you've done it. Then all the tips and all the comment cards and just the way that people respond on the job is just like that's next level.
Yeah, when they come back, that's the best compliment.
Yeah, yeah. They were
Whether
like
they,
you were our
yeah,
favorite thing, right? Like
yeah,
like you were saying, right? Like you were our favorite thing on board. Or we had to come back to see you. Or what ship are you working on next?
yeah, get that a lot. A lot of people right now
Yeah.
are like, oh, you're going to be on this ship. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I'm just doing this right now and this. And it's
With
hard to say no, but sometimes once in a while it works and
it
someone will come back
does
and see you again.
the art of saying no. It's not easy, when, especially when everybody wants you to say yes.
Yeah.
It's a good segue. What are you like? What are you looking to do as far as like your career on ships and on land? But like, what are some of your aspirations? Obviously, uh, you're still kind of figuring out, how much you want to do, like what percentage of your time you want to be on board and working on land. But like, what do you see yourself doing, and what are you excited about for the future?
Yeah, great question. Also terrifying question.
Yeah.
I love Royal. I love working with them. I mean, I will work for other cruise lines and I would happily, but I just love the way they run their dueling piano show right now.
Yeah.
It really suits what I like, and I think the company generally um, is really, really good to their crew. And I've seen companies that aren't good to crew, and even if I'm not going on as crew, that makes me not want to work for your company because I don't feel like you respect the people who are really working
Yeah.
12, 16-hour days, 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that, and they give me one night off where I get to go and roam around the amazing ships. So I love
Yeah.
that. I love doing the dueling. I love working on the new ships they have. They are mammoth ships, but there's so much to do. You cannot get bored on these things.
They're wild, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just floating cities. Yeah.
it's insane. It's amazing, and meeting the people that work there has been amazing.
Yeah.
I really, really want to be able to branch out. So something I did when I was in Schooner Bar is I would do one set where I did a Fleetwood Mac tribute show,
Mm.
And I would promote it every night. And then on the second to last night of the cruise, I'd be like, guys, I'm doing this one thing. Please come for it. And people would be stood, like, waiting. It would get to the point where I would say to people, listen, if you're not here for the Fleetwood Mac, I'm so sorry. These people have been like, they're like stood.
Yeah,
Can we like all crowd around together? And they're like,
yeah.
oh my God, of course. These women were playing Uno and they were like, what's going on? We don't know this show.
Right,
And I was like,
right,
I'm
right.
sorry.
You're like,
Come
that's,
back later.
yeah, this is not for you.
Like, I'm so sorry.
We have to do a separate, like a second, episode just so I can ask you which songs you do the change, you do like
Yeah.
Rhiannon, do you do, yeah. I mean, I have a real soft spot for Fleetwood Mac too.
Oh
So
my gosh.
we
Yeah.
talk more about that
Yeah,
show.
well, I love the show. I'm working on it more and more. I've really got
Yeah.
the set list down to include things I know people love, include
Yeah, you've
things
got to
that
do
might,
dreams, right? Like
yeah,
you can't leave it out, even though probably is not one of their best songs, but it is iconic, right? So got to
yeah.
give the people what they want.
I open the show with that. That's
Of
my
course,
opener.
yeah, because
It's a
everyone's just
great
like,
opener.
sure, 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 sure. A dark
Um,
song, a very dark song, not
yeah,
happy at all.
actually, it sounds a little bit happy, but it's really not. But
Right,
it's
right,
fine.
yeah, nope, but that's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still a great song.
So yeah, I do all of it, and I talk about the band, and I talk about each song, and I tell the
Yeah,
story of the band and how each song was written, and I
yeah,
tell the story of their journey, and I go back to the Peter Green days when it was a UK band, and then I talk about Stevie Nicks' and Lindsey Buckingham's solo album and how their careers started, how they get involved, and how everything fell apart at one point,
oh,
and
again and
people,
again, right? Like there's
yeah.
so much drama with that band. Although
And
people love drama, so
yeah, yeah, and it like it always works really nicely. I can fit a few jokes in there, but generally I take the show really seriously, and I say to people when I introduce it, I say I know I make a lot of really silly jokes when I perform, but this is something I take very seriously. It's very true to my heart, and to be
yeah,
able to do that on a big stage in front of a bigger crowd would just be amazing. I would
yeah,
I would love the opportunity to do that on any kind of ship, honestly. And I know a lot of guest and this would be the guest entertainer route. I
yeah,
know a lot of them have a band behind them, but I think something really magical about the way I've orchestrated it onto one instrument from, a whole band. That's what makes it special and different, and I really like that about it.
yeah.
I think it would take away in some ways of the magic, and I know that limits me. Excuse me. I know it limits what I can do with it. But I really just love the way it's me and a piano, and I'm telling this story
Sure.
about all of these amazing musicians, but it's all brought down to just the music,
Sure, sure,
and
sure. I think
it's
we
my
have,
favorite thing.
yeah, we should at some other point too. Like we'll talk more about you as a future headliner because I'll see if I can convince you to do like half and half. So like
Okay,
we'll do like uh, you know some of them will be like intimate numbers on just piano, and some of them will use the band, and it'll
it
be
will
really
work. We'll
it'll
figure it
be
out. I'll
yeah.
stop being so stubborn, and then I think I'll work it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gina, thank you so much for being here as part of this interview today. It was really fun. I think we probably need to. There's so much more to talk about, but I think this has been really great. And there's been some really wonderful advice that I think people will take from this as well, and hopefully folks that want to work on ships, that want to be piano bar entertainers, that want to be soloists. And we'll also make sure that we link to your Instagram so people can follow you. And
Yeah,
if we get questions from our followers about you and what you do, we'll pass that along as well. But thank you so much for being on today and for chatting with me about the gig. Super fun. So excited to be kind of alongside you and supporting you in your piano bar schooner dueling piano bar journey.
yeah. No, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I yapped a lot. I have a lot to say
That's
about the
the
job.
point. That's
Okay,
exactly the
good.
point. You did exactly what you were supposed to do.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everything. It's been
Of
great.
course. Yeah. Thanks again, Gina. And thanks again for everybody who's listening.
Okay,
Bye
thank
bye.
you.